Welcome back to the Los Alamitos preview show. As mentioned earlier, we have a major race here on Saturday, the finals of the Los Alamitos Super Derby. All eyes, of course, going to be on He's a Dash of Fire, but we can't ignore a gentleman who was training horses when I first started calling races here back in 1981, Mike Robbins. He had the great Sergeant Pepper feature. He also had Dash's Dream, one of the top horses during that 1980s era. He now has Tallulah Moon for the finals of the Los Alamitos Super Derby. Orlando Gutierrez caught up and talked to Mike Robbins earlier this week.
Well, certainly a huge weekend of racing here at Los Alamitos Racecourse with two of our richest races in store. On Saturday is the running of the Los Alamitos Super Derby, and on Sunday, the Golden State Million Futurity races with some huge money. And a man that's no stranger to big races, great horses here at Los Alamitos Racecourse is Mike Robbins. And Mike, you've trained 3 world champions in your career, so let's talk about that first before we start talking about your horses in the Super Derby and the Golden State Million. Let's start with the great one, Sergeant Pepper feature, a horse that you led to the Champion of Champions. Memories about that great horse.
Well, he was a special horse to me because he was he's the one that got my career started really out here, and I started coming here in '78, and I think he was a 2-year-old in '80, and we started him 7 times before he broke his maiden. I broke his maiden here at the winter meet against Winners, and then he won 11 in a row and was world champion running horse. He was quite a horse. He was very special to me.
5-time champion for the AQHA, and in that process, he had one of the greatest rivalries in quarter horse racing, going against Denim and Diamonds. How fun was that time?
Oh, it was a blast. We had a lot of fun. Don Ferris and I were really good friends, which he's passed away now, but we had a good time. It was a big deal. They had him on the front page of the Los Angeles Times. It was like a big fight or something going on. It was cool to do it. Yeah.
And then another horse who pretty much knocked out the competition every time out was Dash's Dream.
Yeah.
One of your all-time favorites?
Oh, yes, absolutely, yeah. She was, well, Pepper had won 11 in a row, and then Dash's Dream came along and won 13 in a row. 12 or 13, I'm not sure of that, but it's 12 or 13. And both of them were exceptional horses, but she was very, very fast from the gate on. Pepper built his momentum up as he went. He had to run some distance, but she could do it from the gate on.
And, of course, her career culminated by the Champion of Champions victory. And any differences between Sergeant Pepper and her victory in the Champion of Champions?
No, they were both very special to me. I didn't think Pepper was going to win it there for a while. He nailed him on the end of it. There was a horse down on the inside. His name was My Star Time, and I've got a neat picture of him coming out of the fog whenever they were about 200 yards from the wire, and they were all lined up together. But he came on and won it at the end, and her she had it from the gate on.
And shortly after that, you started working with a horse that a few people might know, First Down Dash.
Yes, he came. We had him in '86 when he was a 2-year-old. I started him 6 times. He won 5 and won the kindergarten fraternity and the Dash for Cash fraternity.
And, of course, he went on to be trained by the great Blaine Schwanneville, had another Champion of Champions run, which he won in 1987. But you weren't done with the Champion of Champions, right? You went on and won one more. Tell us about that great victory.
That was with Special Leader, and Special Leader was quite an exceptional horse. We took chips out of both knees after his 2-year-old campaign, which he ran okay, but he wasn't exceptional his 2-year-old year. In his 3-year-old year, we took chips out of both knees again. In his 4-year-old year is when he came on and was just really outstanding. He was beating horses a long ways his 4-year-old year, and he ended up winning the Champions also. Beat Refrigerator and some of those horses, and he was a special horse also.
How did you get started in horse race?
I was in college, and we were the rodeo arena and the racetrack were all one deal at Uvalde, Texas, and we were bucking some bulls out one day, and there was a guy out there trying to get on a baby, and he asked if anybody ever broke colts, and that's all I'd done for my brother-in-law was break colts when I was growing up, and I went out there and got on it, and he hired me to come out and help him every day after school after I got out of classes, and I started breaking colts for them and then started galloping and just got started that way, and here we are.
And here we are this weekend with a couple of nice horses in the Super Derby. Tallulah Moon looked really great in the trials, and also a horse that might be living up to the name. He's a rising star.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool horse. Tim Fulton and I bought both of them in the All-American sale year before last, and Tallulah, she does it from the gate on. But that horse is really coming on. He doesn't have a real big kick away from the gate, but he builds his momentum up as he goes. And actually, that horse is just now growing and maturing and learning how to run.
And in the futurity on Sunday, Gaccia Bella, owned by John Andrini, another pretty good contender after winning that trial, right?
Yeah, she's got a really good shot. If she gets away like she can and doesn't get in any trouble, I look for her to run a big race. She'll be right there in the front end of it.
Well, we're looking forward to an outstanding weekend of racing. And, of course, Mike Robbins, a man that knows all about great horses here at Los Alamitos Racecourse, from Sgt. Pepper Feature to Dash's Dream, First Time Dash Special Leader, and now some outstanding runners going this weekend. Back to the studio.
Well, thanks, Orlando. That was a throwback to the past. Mike Robbins, when I started calling here back in 1981, I still remember that first champion of champions, Denim and Diamonds, a horse that R.D. Hubbard owned, and Sgt. Pepper Feature, owned by Tom Neff and trained by Mike Robbins. Those are two of the best horses ever to run here.
I think I'll check on those horses. I was here watching those horses run. You're right. These are really pretty much some of these outstanding horses that Mike's had throughout his career.
Well, how old are you now, Les?
Well, I'm very up there.
Well, you were probably not even allowed to gamble back in 1981, were you?
Oh, I was.
That's 34 years ago, so you're probably right towards legal age.
Well, I'm nearly 60, so it puts me in a good spot where I was there.
Okay.
And
well,
also betting heavily.
Well, you were betting heavily when you were at 12,
Yeah,
so what
okay.
difference does that
That's
make?
true.
But again, we will wish Mike Robbins the best of luck in the Los Alamitos Super Derby with Tallulah Moon.